What is going on, Jets fans? Welcome back into Jets Media. My name is Richie Malora, and I want to talk about the latest rumors and reports and the favorites for the New York Jets of who they will be hiring as their next head coach. I cannot wait to get into this one. This week has been wild for us Jets fans, trying to keep up with how many coaches and how many GMs that we are interviewing. There is a lot of names that we got to bring up in today's video, but I want to focus in on one specific article from Bleacher Report today that kind of came out today and talked about the favorites and where the Jets could go at the head coach position. You guys let me know in the comments, who are the guys you want the New York Jets to hire at the head coach and GM position? Love to get all Jets fans' opinions as we are well underway in this GM and head coaching search for the New York Jets. I expect somebody to be hired the week before the championship Sunday, which is in 2 weeks. So that's a timeline. The Jets have to go through a lot of interviews before we actually hire the right guy. So we shall see. Shout out to BetUS. The show is always being powered by BetUS. We'll hear from them in just a little bit. Now let's get straight into business and talk about this article. I'll leave it down below in the description if you guys want to read it yourself. On Bleacher Report, Jets rumors, Mike Vrabel, Aaron Glenn, and Brian Flores most linked to the Jets head coaching position, but insider eye an offensive hire. So what does that mean? All right, the New York Jets have cast a wide net in their search for a head coach, but they're dissenting opinions among insiders regarding which direction the team will go. ESPN's Dan Graziano reported that the three names I'm hearing most in the head coaching search is Mike Vrabel, Aaron Glenn, and Brian Flores. However, Graziano added that none of them are considered a lock to land in New York. Quote, all those guys are drawing interest elsewhere, and Glenn and Flores are in good situations currently, Graziano stated. So it's possible the Jets don't get any of the three, which is one reason they are looking at a bigger pool of candidates. So let's kind of dive deep into what that means. It seems like Vrabel, Flores, and Glenn are the three guys the Jets want the most, but I think we can all agree Mike Vrabel's most likely going to New England. Aaron Glenn is a hot name on the market that teams like the Saints want. I believe even the Patriots are interviewing him. The Raiders are interviewing him. Brian Flores is getting interviewed. There's a lot of openings. So just because the Jets want these three guys doesn't mean it's guaranteed, because there's other opportunities out there for these specific coordinators. Like Aaron Glenn could go back to New Orleans, where he was a defensive backs coach. He was also a former player for the Saints, just like he was a former player for the New York Jets, right? Brian Flores, maybe he likes to go to the Raiders, right? Or the Jaguars. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for Brian Flores to get a head coaching job. So it's no guarantee just because those three are the favorites does not mean that they're going to land them, because it seems like those are the three guys that the New York Jets want the most. But are those three guys willing to become a Jet head coach? That is something we have to see. We know that there's a lot of other names that the Jets are interviewing. You know, Joe Brady, Matt Nagy, they interviewed yesterday, I believe. There's so many guys. Spags. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. All right, so let's get deeper into this article. Also, all three of those candidates have defensive backgrounds, which the Jets already know too much about. Former head coach Robert Saleh, who was fired after the team's 2-3 start this season, was one of the most respected defensive minds in the league when he was hired in 21. Jeremy Fowler raised the possibility of New York pursuing a candidate with an offensive background. Quote, people I've talked to think they will go offense on the coaching side, but some of the strongest candidates are on defense, which could sway things. Whatever the Jets decide, they will have to make sure they hire the right person who can help and end their lengthy run of disappointment. New York hasn't made the playoffs in 14 straight seasons. All right, we don't need to go into that. All right, so it definitely feels like, this is more speculation and more, just bringing stuff up out of pure, like, where are the Jets going? I don't think Jeremy Fowler or Graziano really know who's going to be the Jets head coach. But what this tells me, this article, is who the Jets are prioritizing and who should be the favorites. If I had a crystal ball and I'm predicting the next Jets head coach, my prediction is going to be Aaron Glenn. I think that is the guy that I believe the Jets want, and I'm going to assume Aaron Glenn wants the job for New York. He has ties to the organization. He was drafted here, talks to Bill Parcells on the regular. I like a lot about Aaron Glenn. Now, I can't make a video without not talking about Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan is a guy that a lot of people are linking to the New York Jets. Rex Ryan is very vocal about coming to the Jets. He wants to be here. He wants to come to New York. I hesitant on the idea of Rex Ryan. I'll be honest, if the Jets do hire him, I'll be shocked. I mean, that is just a giant shock. I'll be like, wow, I did not see that one coming at all. I mean, I know that they interviewed him and there's some type of connection there, but I will be shocked if the Jets hire Rex Ryan. That would kind of be a whirlwind of Jets fans, and I know a lot of Jets fans want Rex, and I understand the reasons behind it, but for me, I'm a little hesitant to bring back Rex Ryan, all right? I really, really am. I'll be honest with you guys. As you all know, this show is being powered by BetUS, and we got Wildcard Weekend coming up, man. Wildcard Weekend is here. If you guys want to sign up for BetUS, don't forget to use the code YouTube150 and go check them out by getting the 150% bonus up to $2,000. You see all the odds for Wildcard Weekend on your screen. You got the Chargers as 3-point favorites on the road. Interesting line there. The Ravens, 10-point favorites against the division rival Steelers. You got the Buffalo Bills, 9.5-point favorites against the Denver Broncos. Wow. Eagles favorited by 4.5, and the Buccaneers favorited at -3. And then Sam Darnold and the Vikings going up against the Rams is even. So if you guys want to go check out all the odds for Super Wildcard Weekend, go check out BetUS, the #1 online sportsbook, baby. So I definitely am going to predict Aaron Glenn to be the head coach. Now, who's the GM going to be? That's the next question that a lot of Jets fans are wondering. I think a big reason why Jets fans need to kind of open their mind to this GM candidate is, number one, we want to make sure, and I'm assuming that the Johnsons and everybody conducting these interviews are doing this right here. They're making sure that the GM and the head coach are going to be on the same page. And I feel like Spielman, that the Jets are interviewing from Detroit, that is a perfect position to bring in and pair up with Aaron Glenn potentially, right? The Jets are also interviewing Spags from Kansas City. They interviewed Mike Berganzi, who is the assistant GM of the Chiefs. The Jets also interviewed Matt Nagy. I can tell you that not a lot of Jets fans are open to the idea of Matt Nagy. I'm not really fond of that idea either. You heard the report that the Jets could be leaning towards an offensive mind, and the three guys that they're most interested in, like this video is talking about, is Vrabel, it is Flores and Glenn, 3 defensive minds. So if it's not one of those 3 guys and say it's an offensive guy, which offensive guy is it? Is it Joe Brady? Is it Matt Nagy? I mean, there's a lot of interesting options that the New York Jets are doing here. So I am just waiting to see who it's going to be. My favorite for the GM position, just not really head coach and GM candidate pairing, I really, really like Alec Hallaby. I think Alec Hallaby is a guy that I feel like could be a really good position for the general manager job. He is somebody that is rise the ranks of the Philadelphia Eagles organization. He's somebody that started off as an intern. He's 38 years old. He's been in the analytics department, the player development department, scouting. He does it all. And I feel like, working in the Philadelphia Eagles organization is definitely a really, really good one. Another name I love is Mike Greenberg, Long Island Jet fan. Grew up just like us, right? A big Jets fan. He's kind of the business savvy cap wizard, if you will, to kind of keep the glue together of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what he's known for. And you look at all the talent the Jets have. How are we going to keep Garrett Wilson and Sauce and Jermaine and Brees and all the talent that we have? Mike Greenberg would be the guy that you want to bring in to help bring these guys back and stay underneath the cap. So those are 2 guys I really like. Chris Spielman, we talked about, could be the Detroit Lions candidate. He's responsible for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell going to Detroit. So that's a guy I really, really like. And you look at all these GM candidates, man. I mean, there's so many. Thomas Dimitrov, Louis Riddick, Jim Nagy, Ray Farmer. I mean, John Eric Sullivan is an interesting name. Rised up the Green Bay Packers ranks. He's the guy that was responsible of finding Jordan Love, right? So there's so many guys, man. So many guys. Thomas Dimitrov is someone that we already interviewed. And I feel like Jets fans are kind of down the middle on that hire. And then last but not least, when it comes to the head coach position, this is a very interesting name in Steve Spagnuolo, that he was a very big-time piece to the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl run 2 years straight. Their defense is championship caliber, regardless of the injuries that they have. Obviously got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes on the offensive side of the ball that's helping out, but their defense is legit. He's kind of an old-school guy, understands the New York market, being it with the Giants. So we'll see if he's the name that they're going to bring in. But, man, this video could be 50 minutes if I went into every single candidate, but we're not going to do that. A dark horse for the head coach position I like is Josh McCown. This is a guy that I feel like if you want to tell me someone that you never expected to be the coach that could work, it's Josh McCown for a lot of reasons. And the idea of Josh McCown does get me excited because he seems like a natural leader. He also is beloved with the New York Jets. When he was here, everybody loved him. More specifically, the owners for the New York Jets, they absolutely adored everything about Josh McCown. Could he come in here and be a head coach? I mean, jumping from quarterbacks coach to head coach is definitely a big leap. We've seen it happen before, so we shall see. Joe Brady we talked about, of course. Bobby Slowick, no thank you. I mean, these are just all the guys that we got to bring up. But Aaron Glenn is my prediction of who the New York Jets will hire eventually. We'll see if I'm right. Obviously, no guarantees there. All right. So we will catch you guys in the next video. My name is Richie. Big time shout out, as always, to BetUS for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and who you want the New York Jets to bring in at head coach and GM. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Love you all.